Sorry.
Yeah, Lee, thank you for joining me today on our live chat. We're going to talk about corruption with the officers, different treatment, favoritism, and racism, because it all really combines together as one. So, Lee, I want you to tell me a little bit about your experience and how it was for you in Send. Because obviously, me and Lee met in HMP Send. We spent time together. We spent nearly a year together, didn't we, on the same
Yeah.
wing? And we I feel we definitely did have different treatment. So obviously you tell us a bit about how you saw things.
Oh wow. Treatment. Yeah, definitely different treatment. I want to speak it from like the way I saw it. So I came into that prison and there was like main block which had everyone and everyone on there, and then they had DNF which had you guys on there, you know. But I just noticed that everybody I spoke to about going to ENF, because it was the progressive wing, it was, you know, where you can go and get your rottles and, you know, and you're in the progressive stage of your sentence, basically. And everyone I used to say, I'm waiting to go to ENF, they'd be like, why do you want to go there? Like, you know, why would you want to go there? Like, to do with the officers being racist, da 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 da. Now, I've just come from Foston by now, so I'm thinking there's nothing worse than what I've seen in Foston. Or do you understand? So when I moved to ENF, I automatically saw that I don't want to say victimized, but I was like, everything I was doing was kind of under scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
And then what they used to do with me, this is what the divide, what they used to do is say things like, you're an enhanced prisoner. This is not enhanced behavior. But then what everyone else is doing is fine. You know, it was like, and I used to think, I wonder if it's me. I wonder if it's because I've got an attitude. I wonder if it's just because of da 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 da. And then, you know, general things started happening. And you start to see officers more often and start to realize their personalities, and you start to think, hold on a minute. Like, I knew this one doesn't like me. She definitely don't like me. You know, I realized that a lot of officers didn't like my music. They didn't like the way that I was. As is because it was victimization. Yeah, whoa. But what it was then, it was victimization. I got victimized for everything. The way I dressed, my hair, the people that I spoke to, and I saw like you was quite a powerful figure on the wing, and I believe I was quite a powerful figure in my own right on the wing. And I saw that the divide. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like there was a lot of times they tried to separate the three of us.
Mm.
Um, Even when I said I wanted to move, remember when I said I wanted to move over to Ewing to be with Shan? Even that I saw racism in that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because they didn't want it to happen because I wanted it to. If they had a reason to move me to Ewing, they would have moved me. But because I wanted to go to Ewing, they wouldn't move me. Do you
Yeah.
understand? Whereas you, Haley, I can give you multiple names of white people, and they are my friends. You understand? That was moved from upstairs, downstairs, inside, outside. You know, I never got asked if I could run the office downstairs and be a rep for the whole wing. You know, those things were left to the white girls on the wing.
Yeah.
To the point where, sorry,
If I wanted to move, I was moved there and then.
there
Bang.
and then, and all you have to do is say, "I'm not saying that." That's it. I kiss my teeth. I'm getting an IUP. I'm getting put in my room. You got four officers telling me that I'm being aggressive. And this is another part of the racism. It's like, you know, you raising your voice and me raising my voice was never an equal field. You raising your voice is something that they understand. Me raising my voice is aggression. You're being too aggressive. Do you understand? So yeah, man, I could give you stories upon stories, you know, even for your own mental health, like exercise, you know, preferences, how you was. I'm just using you as an example, to be
But
fair,
listen,
because I can't use everyone.
I know exactly how I was treated, but it's nice. Do you know what? It's not. It's nice because I can sit here and go, "Oh, I got what I wanted. I did this. I got that." But it's better. It's nice for somebody else to one clarify the story, and it is good. Like I wondered how it affected you as a prisoner, because taking me out of the equation, if it's
Yeah, and
every,
I did.
I'd be fuming. But
I
carry
took
on.
you out of the equation every time. You and Annalise, you know, Annalise she was all right to be able to just be in her room. She told him that she got there's something wrong with her. Yeah. So they just never bothered her. But Leona stays in her room for 3 days. It's like, you know, haven't seen you for a while. Or the way I spoke was highlighted. If I changed my tone, Paula would say something. Did you never? I don't know where you was, but she used to say it all the time. She'd be like, "Oh, I haven't seen you for a few days, or you're not talking much lately," because it was all like a game to them. They would reel me in and then throw me out to the wolves. Look at the COVID when I went in the office and I went to get something and there was 7 people in there, and there's a sign on the door that says 2 people allowed. You went down there before I did with the 7. The gym woman was down there. Could you remember the day I'm talking about? Because the gym woman was down there. There were so many people in there and yourself, and it was fine. So I sat in Annalisa's room and I said, "Oh, look, Fran's gone over there." I said, "I'm going to go down there." I've gone in there. I said, "Hold on a minute." I went like this. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Say no more. And I walked off. Then I'm in trouble. But hold on a minute. You're not breaking the law. I just come to get. I think I went to get an app, something stupid. But because I went in there, it was a problem. I'm like, no, are these people really racist like that? They're Nigel. And I have a lot of respect for Nigel because Nigel made me realize that you are just stuck in your village. You ain't been out anywhere and interacted with anyone. And they've got you in this prison, stuck in that fucking Bix room. So Nigel was a lovely guy, but Nigel used to call me coloured. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, Kiki, go wait, get your coloured friend." And I had to say, "Nigel, like, what world do you live in?" Because we don't use that word anymore. And he'd be like, and he never meant anything by it. He was like, "That's
Yeah.
so what are you?" He's like, "You're coloured." I'm like, "I'm not coloured, Nigel." I said, "You're coloured. If I punch you, you change colour, mate. If you get cold, anything could do. It is what it is. Black people are not coloured. You are coloured." And we had a lot of conversation, and I realized that yeah, there's a lot that it's just become the norm. It's the prison norm. It's the prison norm to treat black people different to others. I'm gonna go deeper now. So when it comes to things like products, creaming your skin, doing your hair, as you can see, I've got locks. I might as well cut my hair off because I was never able to maintain my hair. Do you understand? Pantene can't help me. Do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
what they do is they say, okay, you can have some products, but we'll give it to a prisoner to do. So therefore, if that whatever that prisoner decides to put on that list, that's what you're getting. And that's what
Yeah.
they did. They gave it to Franca, who put on their bleaching cream and extensions, and that's it. Bleaching cream, the fuck are you doing with bleaching cream in the jail? So they gave it to us. They gave us access to it, but they didn't actually give it to us. You understand? So I spent a lot of time not caring for my hair and all of this stuff. And then when they do put the products on, I'm not being funny, but they're products for black skin, so they should have been available for black skin. Because then when I want to buy them, there is none.
Yeah.
And these are parts of microaggressive racism. I'm not saying you should be excluded, but if we are the minority and there's not much for, then just let us have. I'd go in there and I can't even buy cocoa butter, but Haley's got 5 cocoa butters in her room. What the hell? You can use anything and cream your skin. Do you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
not even just that, it's like having things sent in from outside, problem. For my hair, always a problem. I've had to fight for my rights just because of my hair. You'd have to fight for your rights. You know what I'm saying? If you want clippers, you're getting clippers. Do you understand? But the black girl that's on enhanced that wants the clippers has to go for a little bit more. She's got to prove a little bit more because her enhancement's not enough. Do you understand? So yeah, it's just the racism is just there, but is there's an undertone. It's institutional, so you don't see it. It's just
Yeah.
what happens. It's just happening.
Yeah. The times that I've been like, I won't, one girl, black girl, walking down the land.
Definitely.
Oh, listen, the officer's creeping to catch her in sliders just to give her an IEP. I'll come out in my sliders. Fran, go and put your trainers on. Do you know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, I get away
Yep.
with murder. To be fair, like I did, I feel like I feel like I was even treated different to other white prisoners as well. Like, I did.
Don't get it twisted. Haley was given more treatment than you.
Yeah, but that's because if you kick and scream, you get what you want. Kick off a scream and you get what you want. But let's sort of like bring it back round to like the whole like corruption side of things and stuff like that. Like, what did you see corruption wise, and what would you say with officers?
First of all, I'd say, please, people, like, if you can avoid committing a crime and going to prison, please do that. because the life out here is not as bad as the things that you're going to end up being faced with in there. Do you know what I mean? And it's serious. Like my first week of being in the system, again, I'm 37 now. I went to prison when I was 32. My first ever arrest, first ever time on remand. And within a week, I witnessed officers walking downstairs with their trousers down. Basically, for about 3 days, I used to hear this sound of water. And where my room was, it was like two doors from the showers. So when everyone gets locked in after, I think it's 8:45 roll check, boom, everyone's locked in. There shouldn't be no more noise on the landing unless you've got the nurses coming on at 10 o'clock to do meds, night meds, yeah, or you've got the app book, the officers that coming down to check the app book. Everybody that's on the app book, most of them at that time was downstairs, so there was no reason for no noise or anything. And every day for 3 days, I used to just hear the shower. I used to hear this noise. It went yeah. And then, so anyway, so remember, this is my first time in prison. So I was very inquisitive. I used to sit at my hatch in the night and watch. And I swear to God, I saw this officer walking down the stairs with his trousers down, coming out of the shower room. So I thought, huh? Another incident I've seen is officers giving, especially the foreigners and the more vulnerable women in the prison, people that don't actually have much people outside. So, they their little earnings is all they have. So officers will use that. I've seen officers manipulate women, use them to clean, and then treat them with goods to get goods for themselves. I've seen education staff. It's not just officers. I've seen education staff, come into the prison and take advantage of the young girls that are working in education. I've had girls come crying, telling me that they've seen their other girls locked in cupboards with staff. Do you know what I mean? Governors. Listen, man, stories upon stories. We could do a whole 3 hours on this. Like governors that have turned from officers to governors of a prison, and so the corruption's just got bigger. So these governors were actually in power for them to be able to let people out on rottles. They were verifying these rottles, even though the people didn't deserve them. So they're giving them rottles, and they're going out there, and the governor himself, I got receipts, yeah, because the girls will tell you the story themselves, and he would go and pick them up, take them to fucking McDonald's or KFC or somewhere, and bring them back. Officers used to bring food in all the time, even down to Lucasades. Officers would corrupt the prisoners with. I've seen officers giving girls backers, yeah, in derelict buildings that aren't meant to be used, i.e., what wing is it? The wing that they turned into the open wing now. I can't remember what it's called now. The one at the back,
D-wing.
it was closed, been closed forever.
Where? What jail?
It sits in Brunsfield. It sits in front of healthcare. What's that block?
House Block 5.
House block.
Above the House Block 5.
Yeah, house block
That's
5. So the sexual
Alma.
favors every day. It's not a story. It's all the time. And it's not just male officers and female prisoners, it's female prisoners and female officers. We know one that had relationships with them. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing or a good thing, but the manipulation, she wasn't in no state of mind to be in a relationship with any kind of officer. And again, you're not there for that. You're there to protect and to serve. Corruption from officers, again, their age creates a whole lot of corruption because they're young on shitty
They're
with their HP, they ain't got no money.
women and
So
stuff.
they will do favors. I had officers say to me all the time, all you have to do is ask, indirectly telling me that, all you have to do is ask me. It's like, nah, you're all right, thanks. You're better off going back to the gate, mate, because it's a lot of corruption, officers that are trying to be your friends. And I had to make them know, listen, as you lock that door, you are not my friend because you're
Mm.
locking me in. So we can have a little banter, yeah, 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 yeah. But the reality is you're locking me in. So
Yeah.
the corruption, when you got a job, for example, I know I keep going on, but it's just like things are popping into my head that happened to me, innit? So Orson, yeah, we'll call out
That
Orson because he used to get
day.
called out. Yeah, Orson, all that. No, no, I'm gonna say it again, Orson. Yeah,
Yeah.
so these kind of officers now would prey on you. They'll come
Yeah.
to you and be like, "Oh, Lee, can you do this job?" So I used to do BICs, right? I used to do cleaning, the biohazard cleaning and that. So we had a room that needed cleaning. Now, I'm going to clean the room on a wing where there's staff and there's prisoners. There's no need for you to be there. This man would sit there in front of the door, watching, and he'll go, "Oh yeah, you need to," because of the direction. I had to bend to get anywhere. I had to bend towards the door. Do you understand? And he would just sit there and like he used to come on the wing and be like, you're not saying hello, Miss Bartley. And I'd be like, what is this man on? Like he would used to always try and find the girls that would just, yeah, entertain his fuckery. You know what I mean? And I'm quite a banterful person, but yeah, it was a
Some
lot.
of
It was a lot. If I was weak, fuck, man.
some of the
Yeah,
girls said when I lived on House Block 3, because he used to have a pot of nail varnish in the hub, and he'd say to the girls, "I like, oh, that colour would look nice with your hand round my." I'm not going to say it because obviously there could be
yeah,
young people watching.
facts.
That, but even, do you know what? Even take out the whole relationships that the officers and stuff have together, like with prisoners and stuff like that. It's the mind. Like I found some officers like playing mind games with me. Like personally, like one minute they wanna be my best friend, and then the next minute they would be like switching, like just have, I don't know, like attitude and stuff like that. Like, it was, I don't even know how to explain it because it's not like corruption, is it? But it's, I don't know how to explain
It
it
is.
really.
It is. I had officers that used to follow me around. So I lived on House Block 3, and say, for example, I moved on to D Wing, and this same officer followed me from D Wing. This is over a course of 2 months, So they got their rota about what wings that they're going to be going on, where they're
Yeah,
going to be working. And because I did the breakfast. All the officers that come in, they could see me. They could see anyone that's done breakfast at 7 in the morning. You could see them because they're the only ones unlocked, innit?
yeah,
So I noticed that with him, he used to come to my room in the night, on the night shift. He used to do that. He used to he used to call me on the tannoy and go ask me what I'm doing. This is through the night, when he's doing the night shift. Remember, then they used to go for a week, and then when he'd come back, I think one time I moved wings, and somehow he managed to get on my wing, as like he changed something just so he could be on the wing with me.
mm,
Do you understand? So now you know how the wing staff goes on a day. So when I'm doing servery, you're there. It's me and you in the servery. Do you understand? Because I did servery by
yeah,
myself. Laundry, it's me and you in the laundry room. Do you know, like, it was just
yeah,
too much. Yeah, he
yeah.
was a problem.
They don't
He was a
have,
problem.
don't have boundaries. There's, yeah, they're just weird. Like there was one time that I wanted to move wings and an officer stopped it, like just for no reason. But like it was like she didn't want me to be living on the same. I don't know. Something got said anyway that she chatted some rubbish. She didn't want me to live on the same wing as somebody else. But it's like what? But you're like, what? Your head. Like, what are you thinking? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, officers used to place us where they wanted us, especially in
yeah,
Bronzefield, especially in Bronzefield.
yeah,
They put you where they want you because the way that the officers had control of that prison was mad, and it was for their own gain. It was literally like, this is my Solomon, yeah, this is my house block. That's what he used to say. This is my house block,
yeah,
my
literally.
wing. You're not coming on my wing. I'm like, what do you mean? He'd be like, you're not coming. And then when I actually, something happened, yeah, and I ended up, oh, this man's a bastard, like, basically, I was settled where I was. And he came to my room during afternoon bang up and was like, you're moving to B Wing. And even then that was manipulation in itself because I was too powerful for where I was. He needed to take me off a D Wing. And he didn't know how to do that. So he found ways that I tripped myself up in it. IEPs, did it. Obviously, you're oblivious. You don't really know. Do you know what I mean? And he moved me to another wing. And I'll never forget that I woke up in the night, um, and I saw him giving treats. Chris, sweeties, Lucasade. I never forget because I saw the Lucasade bottle. I said no. So he was trying to recruit me because everyone on that wing was a pick me. Everyone on that wing was for Solomon. And I asked to do cleaning, and he wouldn't let me clean the hub. And then I knew why, because he's got the foreigners, the little, because they can't speak no English. No, no, no English. So he manipulated them with chocolate and sweetie. Can you imagine?
Do you know what? There were some officers though that actually like would bring me in like some sweets or Chris, or they'd have something and they'd share it. Like, but no, but do you know what though? Like, no, you can sit there and thingy, but actually, like,
I'm not
no,
saying anything. I'm not saying it's bad.
them ones are like they're the genuine ones. Like they've bought something and they're like, oh, I'll have something, but like there's a difference in like there's some that do it because they're like you know what they're doing, yeah. But other ones just actually genuinely, oh, do you know what? Like they'll look at me and they'll think I'm human too, and they're like, God, you go without, and they get a little soft spot for you. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not even meaning in a sexual
No,
way.
I
To
understand exactly what you mean, but that takes a lot. The mass aren't like that. What did she say? So talk about what slips mean on your file and while they are relevant. What slips, cuz? What's another name for them? Slips on your file. What's that? Like negatives on your what, like negative IEPs, you mean? Because even that's a manipulating head fuck. Like I never forget when three officers basically they wanted me, yeah, IEPs. They wanted me off. They wanted to listen. I ran my wing. I did the servery, Brunsfield. So you know the settings, yeah. I did the servery, the laundry, the wing cleaning, and that was me. It was my wing. Do you understand? And they didn't like that. And nobody wanted anyone else to serve but me. Why? Because I made sure everybody ate. The Chinese got their potatoes. Do you know, like that? Like, because different nationalities, you start to realize when you do the survey, not everybody wants everything. Do you get what I mean? So everybody got to eat. And what was I saying now? Yeah, I did everything. I did the whole. So they wanted me off. So what they did, Hannah and Shanake, Dottie Shanake, they um they gave me four IEPs in that one night. So basically, she gave me an IEP for not following the direct order, and then I pushed it back under the door. So she gave me an IEP for not basically accepting the
accepted.
direct the
Yeah.
yeah. So I got an IEP for not taking the IEP. Then I got an IEP for not taking those two IEPs. Don't play. See, by morning I was suspended from work. Yeah, I was on basic. Listen to me.
They're
It's a
smart. They're
lot.
smart. But listen, I'm gonna have up here. It's been brilliant catching up with you. We will set
Okay.
up a topic at another date very, very soon. Um, thank you very much for coming on.